This is another version of a book called All Quiet on the Western Front. It's about a German youths. They're going to school, and the director of the institute says, "We gotta put our fighting young men on there so we can get this war over with as quick as we can." And, oh yeah, we're all going together. We all sign up, and they were very proud. They were all marching off to war, as all youths were in that time. The French, the British, the Germans, the Russians, Italians, Austrians, or whatever. But it follows this guy, and they land in the trench, and the trench hasn't moved since the beginning of the war. To understand, from the North Sea all the way down, there was a German side. The North Sea down and all the way down, there was a French side. And there was no man's land in between. Okay. At the end of the war, everybody who was in the German side never moved, and the French side never moved. They overran each other ever so often. But basically, they never moved. Millions dead, and they never moved. Did show one thing about a German officer. Basically, the war was over on that November 11th. At 11 a.m. in the morning, 11th day, the 11th hour, which is 11 in the morning, the German officer decides to do the last charge against the French. Think about it. The last charge against the French. 15 minutes to go, and the German officers, I am going to charge the French thing. And we're going to overrun, which they did. And that young German, who basically was the last of his friends, landed into a French thing. And 5 minutes before the 11th hour, he gets stabbed in the back with a bayonet. Ooh! And he just simply goes there and dies. And they basically say, nothing was gained. Germany was turned into rubbish. The French was turned into rubbish. And basically they said, World War I, 20 years later, set the world up to the next war. Of course, the next war, what happened in 20 years is the French built up a line of fortifications there. Oh, and the Germans did the same thing, a line of fortifications there. Except for they invaded Poland with the blitzkrieg, tanks, troops, bomb everything. And what do they do when they went from Poland to France? They did the same thing. They flew over. They dropped paratroopers in the back. They bombed the place. And by the time the French figured out what was going on, everything was over with. Then there's, of course, there's Dunkirk, but that's something else. But it's a good movie. Basically done with green screen, a lot of green screen. And all the trenches were done on stage. Oh, yeah. It is spoken in German with English subtitles. I hate to say English-German, as I was hearing. Is a thing, well, it's a, get the DVD, watch it, and return to the DV. And the budget to this thing was $20 million. What was the box office? I don't know, but I don't think there was. But hey, you like a war film? Kind of like bloody. Yeah, well, whatever. Okay, that's enough.